They thought he was invisible. A man in faded blue coveralls, pushing a mop through the hallway, head slightly bowed, moving like someone the world had already forgotten. One careless insult from a rookie officer was all it took to expose how dangerously wrong that assumption was. Asterisk, what city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more stories about extraordinary people. The base was waking up to another ordinary morning. Fluorescent lights humming over polished floors. Boots striking in hurried rhythm as young recruits rushed to prove themselves. This place was built on rank, precision, and reputation. Every badge mattered. Every mistake followed you. And on that morning, a brand new officer named Daniel Reeves was determined to show he belonged. Daniel had graduated near the top of his class. Sharp uniform, crisp salute, confidence still untested by real consequence. He believed respect was something that came automatically with the insignia on his chest. As he walked through the administrative wing, he noticed an older man cleaning near the entrance, moving slower than the others, his hands rough, his posture calm. Daniel frowned. The hallway needed to be cleared for a briefing. Without slowing his stride, he spoke sharply. He told the cleaner to hurry up and stay out of the way. He added a comment about how some people never aim higher in life. A few nearby officers smirked. No one corrected him. The cleaner paused. He did not argue. He did not defend himself. He simply looked up, eyes steady, then nodded and moved aside. There was something in that look, not anger, not shame, but quiet patience. Daniel did not notice. He had already walked past. Satisfied with his authority, Dr. Cleaner's name was Thomas Hawley. Most people on the base did not know it. To them, he was just another civilian contractor hired to keep the floors clean and the trash emptied. He arrived before dawn and left after most had gone home. He spoke little, worked thoroughly, and never complained. What no one saw was the weight he carried behind that silence. Thomas had once walked these same halls in a very different uniform. Decades earlier, he had been one of the youngest non-commissioned officers in a special operations unit that did not officially exist. His missions were never publicized. His achievements were never announced. When he retired, he did so quietly, turning down ceremonies, medals, and speeches. He believed service was something you gave, not something you displayed. After his wife passed away, Thomas struggled with the quiet of civilian life. The base offered him a simple maintenance job, and he accepted. It gave him structure. It kept him close to the world he had once protected. And it allowed him to remain unseen, which was exactly how he wanted it. For weeks, Daniel continued his routine, occasionally crossing paths with the cleaner. Each time, he barely acknowledged him. Once, when Thomas politely reminded him about a wet floor, Daniel rolled his eyes and told him to worry less about officers and more about his mob. Other recruits noticed. Some laughed. Others felt uneasy but said nothing. In a place built on discipline, disrespect had a way of spreading when left unchecked. The conflict came on inspection day. A high-ranking general was scheduled to tour the base. Every hallway had to be perfect. Every detail scrutinized. Tension hung in the air as officers double-checked reports and adjusted uniforms. Daniel was assigned to escort the general through the administrative wing. A chance to make a strong impression. As fate would have it. Thomas was cleaning the main corridor that morning. Daniel spotted him and felt irritation rise. He marched over and told him to clear out immediately. His tone was sharper than before, louder, meant to assert control. He called him a distraction and questioned why someone like him was even allowed in such an important area. The hallway fell silent. Thomas slowly set the mop aside. He met Daniel's gaze again, the same calm eyes unchanged. He spoke softly, saying he would be finished in a moment. Daniel snapped back that he did not have a moment and that orders were orders. That was when the general arrived. The room straightened, as if pulled by an invisible string. Salutes snapped up. Conversations died instantly. The general stepped forward, Scanning the hallway with practiced awareness, then his eyes landed on Thomas. The general stopped walking. His expression shifted from authority to disbelief, then to something like respect mixed with gravity. He took a step closer, studying the cleaner's face as if confirming a memory long buried. Then, without hesitation, he raised his hand and rendered a formal salute. The hallway froze. Officers stared, unsure if they were seeing things. The general addressed the cleaner by name. He thanked him for his service. He spoke of missions that saved lives and decisions that changed the course of operations. He called him a legend, a man whose courage was taught in classrooms without ever revealing his identity. Thomas returned the salute. Steady and precise, Daniel felt the blood drain from his face. The general turned to the assembled officers and explained that true honor was not always loud. He said some of the greatest warriors carried their legacy in silence. He made it clear that respect was not about rank alone, but about character. Then he looked directly at Daniel. He asked if this was how the base treated its heroes. Daniel tried to speak but found no words. The confidence he carried collapsed under the weight of his ignorance. In a single moment, he understood that his insult was not just rude, but profoundly wrong. After the general left, the hallway remained quiet. Thomas picked up his mop and continued working, just as he always had. He did not linger on the attention. He did not seek apologies. But Daniel followed him. He stopped a few steps away and finally spoke with humility. He admitted his disrespect. He apologized without excuses. He said he had judged without knowing, and that he was ashamed that Thomas listened. Then he nodded. He told Daniel that everyone starts somewhere, and that mistakes can either harden a person or teach them. He said the uniform mattered, but the person inside it mattered more. And he reminded him that the way you treat those with no power says everything about who you are. From that day on, Daniel changed. He greeted everyone on the base, regardless of position. He corrected others when they mocked or dismissed support staff. He learned to listen before speaking. And when he saw Thomas in the hallway, he stood a little straighter, not out of fear, but respect. Thomas continued cleaning the base, invisible to most, unforgettable to a few. The lesson lingered long after the floors dried and the day ended. Legends do not always wear medals on their chests. Sometimes they carry them in their silence. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.